Greetings, everyone, and welcome. It is April the 21st, and yes, we have a huge amount of news that has unfolded this weekend, and I have video confirmation coming out of the mouth of Vladimir Putin that yes, Donald Trump is 100% correct. Let's just cut to the chase. Vladimir Putin is in absolute control, and if you think any differently, I hope that the next 7, 8, or 9 minutes will help confirm that to you. Make no doubts about it. Washington, D.C. is parroting the Putin verbiage. Donald Trump parroting the Putin verbiage. The entire negotiation team. MAGA land, that is Putin land. That is Kremlin narrative land. I have not lost my mind, and I'm going to prove it to you. Here we go. I want to start first with what Donald Trump did over the last 24 hours. His truth, number one, hopefully Russia and Ukraine will make a deal this week. Both will then start to do big business with the United States of America, which is thriving, and make a fortune. So we're going to reward Russia for wiping out Ukraine and help them make a fortune. And we're going to throw a carrot out so that Ukraine can make a fortune. That's not how it works. Additionally, coming out with this at 11 o'clock last night, the golden rule of negotiating at success, he who has the gold makes the rules. Thank you. Really? There is zero care about human life anywhere in the mind or heart of Donald Trump. And I'm a Christian. I don't want to hear about the Christian stuff that he's the Easter man hugging the cross. Listen, he's hugging a cross that's in the shape of a T. He's probably not thinking about Jesus. He's thinking about Trump. And it's obvious in tweets and truths like this. It's definitely not truth. It's just evil. That's tyrannical. And it is absolutely disgusting. It parrots Kremlin talking points. So we have this coming out. There is a high probability, a very good chance that the Russian-Ukrainian agreement will take place this week. Now, what was the source of that? Right here.
Do you think Russia and Ukraine can get a deal this week? Do you think Russia and Ukraine can get a deal this week?
Yes. There's a very good chance.
Are you happy with how the European Union is?
Okay, so there you have it. You have it. We have a very good chance that something is going to get done this week. Folks, let me just set the precedent with the first Vladimir Putin video that I'm going to give you to validate this, and it's right here. A soldier, he's at a meeting today talking about victory. Victory will be ours. No one doubts this, and it's good that you as a person with military past remind us of this. So this soldier reminds Putin that victory will be ours. And Putin says, oh, there's no doubt about this. And it's a good thing as a soldier that you're leading us by example in sharing this. So here's what you have. You have Donald Trump truthing out about he who has the gold has all the power and make a deal and we'll all get rich. Vladimir Putin today is talking about victory and about winning. And I'm going to show you more as we proceed. Now, President Zelensky has made one statement today. There'll be more coming out later. I'll check his evening address and see where we're at, may translate it and get it out to you guys in a few hours. But Zelensky today making this statement. On Wednesday, the Ukrainian delegation will work in London together with representatives of Great Britain, France, and the United States. Ukraine is as constructive as possible with the aim of achieving unconditional ceasefire and establishing a genuine, sustainable peace. He stays right on task. Putin's talking about victory. Trump is talking about gold and making everybody rich. And Zelensky is fighting for peace and fighting for his nation and justice and what is right. Now, let's get into it. This is Lyshenko. He came out today and made a statement. He works in the office of the president's advisor. The territorial integrity of Ukraine is not discussed by our partners. It is enshrined in the Ukrainian constitution. He's responding to the rumors that the United States is planning to transfer Crimean ownership to Russia. Basically, stick it. You can't do this. So once again, These stories that were coming out this weekend, well, the U.S. is Trump's open to recognizing Crimea as Russian sovereign territory. He's going, you can't do that. It's ours. It's on our Constitution. Stop talking this. You're parroting Vladimir Putin. Now, are you ready for more of this, guys? Vladimir Putin today talking. The Ukrainian authorities simply pumped out money of the territories and took it abroad. The Kyiv regime continues to steal money from the Ukrainian people. We are talking about $1 billion accounts that are located abroad. Western weapons supplied to Ukraine constantly end up on the black market. And Putin stressing that he's so thankful that people with combat experience will now have powerful positions in the government. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the next 3 or 4 minutes, here comes the parrot. I know that you have heard over the last couple of years, many people, especially in the conservative Christian right, nationalistic American MAGA land, state things like Zelensky has billions of dollars. He's a thief. He has 13 houses and they're spread all over the world. And this is nothing but a big scheme to steal money. They're selling weapons to Africa. They're doing all of this. You've heard that. The Trump administration and that team parrots that. MAGA land parrots that. Where does it come from? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here it is.
They only focused on draining resources and money from these territories.
Talking about Ukraine.
They stole money, pardon my blunt expression. It's still kept in bank accounts abroad. Hence their desire to cooperate and sell out to their sponsors. They're not fighting for people's interests, but for their stolen capital taken from Ukrainians and moved abroad. They're hooked on that money over there. Even if they wanted to speak up, they never would, because we're talking billions of dollars. But they're still fighting and stealing. Even weapons from Western countries end up on black markets. They surface in Africa, the Middle East, and elsewhere, and they keep on stealing. Ukraine's corruption level is well known. Now we must focus on our duty to those who supported returning to Russia. We must support them and address long-standing issues in these territories. It's a complex process.
So there you have it. He's talking today. The narrative that you've heard many times. Oh, stealing of the billions. They're thieves. They're selling weapons on the black market. You can't trust them. They're corrupt. They're putting weapons in the Middle East. They're putting weapons in Africa. The last time I checked, it's Russia that is putting weapons everywhere. Can we talk about Syria and every African nation where Russia, with their military private groups, have outposts and stations to partner with the Chinese to completely destroy the African continent? But no, he's just going after it and after it. And MAGA land takes these narratives and they run with them. Now, don't forget, we also have the Nazi narrative. I'm going to share that with you. But at the end of that last video clip, you heard him make this statement. We have to protect our people and our territories. It's the people that want to come back to Russia. He's specifically referring to Lugansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, Kherson, Crimea, and for him, it would include Odessa, Sumy, Chernihiv, Kyiv, and anything else he can get his hands on. That is what he's talking about there, and you need to make sure that you do not miss it. Of course, the Nazi argument continues. And here we go. Dear friends, this year is marked by the 80th anniversary of the victory in the Great Patriotic War. Now we feel especially acutely that time holds no power over the memory of nations, and no matter how hard someone tries, no one is able to distort or tarnish the feat of the Red Army soldiers who saved the world from Nazism. Today, once again, unfortunately, we are once again forced to confront those who were trying to threaten the security of our motherland. Here we are. We're the ones fighting for everything. The Nazis are coming again. We've done it one time and we'll do it again. Stating it point blank. And that narrative is just carried and carried and carried. Now, I know we all were hopeful and maybe the truce could be extended. We talked about that in Zelensky's masterful move to move it to 30 days and to stretch it out. And let's see if we could go for a real peace. I do want to play you the clip where Putin responds to the truce. You need to hear it. It's very important. It'll be the same talking points that Washington will be using this week. Just watch it unfold. The bottom line is Putin doesn't want a truce. Putin doesn't want a ceasefire. Putin wants war because that is the basis of the economy right now in Russia. And he says there's going to be no doubt that they win. So he can't back up. He can't back up. He's going to keep going and going and going. And you're going to see America get out of the way. And we'll see what happens as we move forward from there. Now, here is Putin's statement about talking about the truce. It starts with a question from the reporter. The Easter truce is over, so how can you evaluate it? And what is the current status? And has military actively been resuming? The military activity has resumed. We said it from the start when we announced this. We are always positive in regards to truces, so we came out with this initiative, especially since it's Easter, which is a holiday for all Christians, and it so happened that it's now a holiday for the Catholics and the Protestants as well as the Orthodox. So we have always talked about that we view all peace initiatives in a positive way, and we hope that the Kyiv regime will treat it the same way. Even though we say the first reaction, I think everyone saw it. There was a statement published that said our proposal was viewed as playing with lives, with people's lives and so on, but I guess they found some smarter people there to tell them, the foreigners helping them, to reject such initiatives because it's a losing position for the Kyiv regime, and they quickly agreed. Now we see that the Kyiv regime is trying to seize the initiative. They want to talk about broadening the time frame of the ceasefire and the targets of the ceasefire, but we need to think about it and assess the benefits. I've said it from the start when I met with the head of the general staff that we would see what the experience of the Easter truce would be, what it tells us, and we go forward from there. So you can see he stays in charge of the narrative. We will evaluate the truce. We will do what we want to do. He also today was speaking about how they're not hitting civilian targets because that's where the military and the Western advisors are gathering, even when they strike restaurants and different cities, and it looks like civilian targets. It's actually military targets. We are striking military targets. I can tell you right now, looking over here to my right, there are a lot of drones in the air coming from the south. I can tell you that Kherson was just hit 3 times. There are major fires happening in Kherson. The war is raging on. And this, absolutely, I hope it shares some confirmation, gives you some things in your tool belt to help people understand the truth that all we're seeing is Putin in control. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all that you do. And our moderators, our team, our Discord, everything, we appreciate it. And we'll be back at you more later. And yes, Mr. Trump, you are 100% in control. In fact, I do want to say condolences on the passing of Pope. He passed away a few hours ago, so our condolences for all of those of the Catholic faith and the passing of the Pope. And of course, everybody's trolling that already, as you probably would see. I guess he's going to be the Pope next. I don't know, but I'm just very disgusted at his behavior, to be honest. It's so deplorable. It is. Now, I know that's a word that everybody talked about, how we were deplorables, but honestly, I'm going to make a fortune together. He who has the gold, makes all the rules. Unacceptable. What about humanity? Thank you, guys. We appreciate all of you. We'll be back.